There's a moment, not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, almost invisible, when you know something is wrong. You don't want to admit it. You brush it off. You make excuses. You tell yourself, maybe I'm overreacting. But deep down, your gut is screaming. And if you're watching this, there's a good chance you've been there. Maybe it started with a text he didn't reply to, or the way he looked at someone else when you were out, or the way he suddenly stopped planning dates. Or maybe it was worse, a lie, a betrayal, a broken promise. But here's the thing no one talks about. It's not the big moment that ruins a relationship. It's what you do after. Because I stayed. I stayed after he did this. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. Not because of him, but because of what it cost me. My self-respect, my peace, my belief that I deserved better. I stayed after he stopped trying, after he stopped showing up, after he made me feel small just to feel big. And if you're still in a relationship where you're giving more than you're getting, where you're constantly doubting yourself, where you feel like you're walking on eggshells, this video is for you. Because today, I'm not here to shame you for staying. I'm here to help you understand why you stayed, why it's so easy to fall into that trap, and most importantly, how to never make that mistake again. By the end of this, you'll know the 5 silent signs that mean it's time to walk away, even if you still love him. You'll understand the psychology behind why smart, strong women stay too long, and you'll get a simple 3-step reset plan to reclaim your power and never lose yourself in love again. I'm Julian, and for the past 8 years, I've worked with thousands of women, helping them build relationships that honor them, not drain them. So if you're tired of being the one who always forgives, who always bends, who always hopes he'll change, keep watching. This might be the most important conversation you have with yourself all year. Let's start with the truth. You didn't stay because you're weak. You stayed because you're human. You stayed because love isn't just a feeling. It's a story you tell yourself. He had a hard childhood. He's under a lot of stress. He didn't mean it. He'll change. These aren't lies. They're survival mechanisms. Your brain is wired to seek connection, even when that connection is unhealthy. It's called trauma bonding. And it's why leaving someone who hurts you feels like losing a part of yourself. Because in a way, you are. You've built a life around his moods, his needs, his timing. You've rearranged your schedule, your emotions, your dreams, just to keep the peace. And when he pulls away, you don't leave. You lean in harder. You text more. You try to fix it. You become the emotional caretaker of the relationship. And that's exactly what keeps you stuck. Because here's the hard truth. If you're the only one trying, it's already over. But your heart doesn't know that. Your heart remembers the good moments. The way he laughed at your joke. The weekend trip you took. The way he held your hand when your dad was sick. And those memories become anchors. They keep you from swimming to shore. So you stay. You stay when he cancels plans last minute. You stay when he flirts with your friend. You stay when he says, "I love you," but acts like he doesn't. And every time you stay, you teach yourself that your needs don't matter, that your boundaries are flexible, that love means suffering in silence. And that's the real danger. Not the man, but the version of you that starts to believe she isn't worth fighting for. Now let me tell you what he did. It wasn't cheating. It wasn't yelling. It wasn't even breaking up with me. It was something quieter, something that destroyed me slowly. He started comparing me, not to another woman, but to his ex. At first, it was small. You know, Sarah always remembered my mom's birthday. Or, Lisa never got upset about this kind of thing. It didn't feel like a red flag. It felt like feedback, like I could improve. So I did. I started remembering his mom's birthday. I stopped getting upset. I became more like her. And the more I changed, the less he respected me. Because here's the psychology no one teaches you. When a man compares you to someone else, it's not about you. It's about his insecurity. He's either not over his past, or he's testing your limits. And if you don't set a boundary, he'll keep pushing. I didn't say anything. I stayed. I thought if I loved him enough, he'd stop. But he didn't. He kept comparing. And slowly, I started to believe I wasn't enough. I started apologizing for things I didn't do. I stopped hanging out with friends because he said I was too social. I stopped posting on Instagram because he said I was seeking attention. And one day, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. I wasn't the confident, radiant woman I used to be. I was small, quiet, afraid. And that's when I realized I wasn't in love. I was in survival mode. And the biggest mistake wasn't staying. It was believing I had to earn his love instead of knowing I already deserved it. So, how do you know when it's time to walk away? Here are 5 silent signs. No yelling, no cheating, no obvious drama, but clear signals that you're losing yourself. Sign number 1, you're constantly justifying his behavior. If you find yourself saying things like, "He didn't mean it," "He's just stressed," or "It's not that bad," pause. Ask yourself, would I let my best friend stay in this? If the answer is no, why are you doing it to yourself? Justification is the first step to self-betrayal. Sign number 2, you feel drained, not energized, after seeing him. Love should fill your cup, not empty it. If you leave every interaction feeling anxious, sad, or exhausted, that's not love. That's emotional labor. And you're not his therapist. Sign number 3, you've stopped talking about your dreams. When you're truly seen and supported, you share your goals freely. But if you've stopped mentioning your promotion, your travel plans, or your creative projects because you know he'll minimize them, that's a red flag. A partner should amplify your light, not dim it. Sign number 4, you're more focused on his happiness than your own. If you're always checking his mood, adjusting your tone, or canceling plans to give him space, you've become his emotional manager. And that's not a relationship, that's unpaid emotional work. Sign number 5, you feel lonely, even when he's right there. This one hits hard. You're in a relationship, but you feel isolated. You don't feel heard. You don't feel understood. You don't feel seen. And that loneliness, it's your soul telling you that this connection isn't nourishing you. These signs aren't about being dramatic. They're about self-awareness. And if you see even one of them in your relationship, it's time to pause. Not to leave, but to ask yourself, am I growing or am I shrinking? Now let's talk about why we stay, even when we know we should go. It's not just love, it's fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of never finding someone else, fear of being labeled difficult or too picky. And society feeds this fear. We're told, don't die alone. Settle down before it's too late. At your age, you should be married. But here's the truth. Being alone is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Losing yourself is. And every woman who has ever stayed too long will tell you the same thing. The loneliness after leaving was nothing compared to the loneliness while staying. Because when you're with someone who doesn't cherish you, you grieve in real time. You mourn the version of you that got smaller. You mourn the life you could have been living. And the longer you stay, the deeper the grief. But there's also power in that pain. Because pain is data. It tells you what you're willing to tolerate and what you never will again. So if you're thinking, but I still love him, I get it. Love doesn't just disappear, but love without respect, without reciprocity, without growth is not enough. And you can love someone and still choose yourself. In fact, choosing yourself is the deepest form of love. So how do you reset? How do you walk away with your dignity intact and never make this mistake again? I call it the 3-step self-reclamation plan. Step 1, the 30-day no-contact reset. Not with him, with the relationship. For 30 days, stop all emotional labor. No texting to check in. No calling to talk things out. No analyzing his behavior. Just space. Use this time to reconnect with yourself. What do you like? What makes you laugh? What dreams have you put on hold? This isn't punishment. It's reclamation. You're not trying to make him miss you. You're reminding yourself who you are without him. Step 2, rewrite your love story. Grab a journal. Write down every time you ignored your gut. Every time you stayed after he hurt you. Every excuse you made. Then write a new story. One where you walk away at the first sign of disrespect. One where you choose peace over drama. One where you believe you deserve better. Not someday, but now. This isn't fantasy. It's reprogramming. You're training your brain to value yourself first. Step 3, set your non-negotiables. Before you date again or stay, get crystal clear on your boundaries. Not, I want someone kind. Be specific. I will not date someone who talks down to me. I will not stay with someone who refuses to communicate. I will not accept love that feels like obligation. Write them down. Say them out loud. And most importantly, enforce them. Because boundaries aren't rules for him. They're promises to yourself. I wish I had this conversation with myself 10 years ago. I wish I had walked away the first time he compared me. The first time I felt small. The first time I apologized for existing. But I didn't. And that's okay. Because every mistake taught me something. And today, I'm not here to shame my past self. I'm here to protect yours. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not unlovable. You are a woman who loved deeply, maybe even too much. And that's a strength, not a weakness. But love shouldn't cost you your self-worth. It should expand it. So if you're still with someone who makes you question your value, know this. Walking away isn't failure. It's the bravest act of self-love you can make. And the right person won't make you beg for attention. They'll be obsessed with giving it. They won't make you feel small. They'll celebrate your fire. And they won't need you to change. They'll fall in love with who you already are. If this resonated with you, I want you to do 2 things. First, comment below with 1 word that describes how you felt while watching this. Was it seen? Angry? Relieved? Let's normalize talking about this. Second, hit subscribe. Because next week, I'm dropping a video called The One Text That Makes Him Respect You, without saying a word. And it's going to change the way you show up in every relationship. You don't have to stay small to be loved. You just have to remember your worth. And I'll be here every step of the way, reminding you you've got this.